Hey guys, my name is Greg Butchko, also known as Shadow of Butchko, and today I want to introduce a new gaming series I am doing on here called Rocket League Madness, the Kingdom Edition. Now, for those of you who don't understand what any of that means, I'm going to go into detail about it and what we'll be doing. Let's start off with what is Rocket League. Well, it combines soccer with driving in an unbelievable physics-based, multiplayer-focused sequel to an old game called Supersonic Acrobatic Rocket-Powered Battle Cars. And that's what they're basically using in this game. You choose from a variety of high-flying vehicles equipped with huge rocket boosters to score amazing aerial goals and pull off some incredible game-changing saves. It's the winner and nominee of more than 150 Best of 2015 awards, including Game of the Year, Best Sports Game, and Best Multiplayer Game. The game's played on both PC and consoles, one of the first games ever to open cross-platform gaming in history. As long as Sony stops being stupid and allows its servers to work with Xbox. As far as news goes, they still haven't fully opened their doors to Microsoft. It's a love-hate triangle between Steam, Sony, and Microsoft, where Sony hasn't taken Microsoft's Peace Branch. Anyway, the game's been out since July 2015, and it's created a huge community. In fact, the game became the #1 most streamed game on Twitch just that month, and it sold 5 million copies in just 1 month's time. And as of recently, it sold more than 10.5 million copies across all platforms, and it has about 7 million players playing it each month. So, to those that have never heard this game before, I'm sorry for you because this game is huge. This game is one of the biggest. So moving on, as of last year, I decided on creating a bracket based on the game and made AIs, or basically the computer, play itself and see who would win. Each team was based on the teams in season mode, and unfortunately in exhibition mode, which is the mode that I use, you can't choose your AI's car so that it's the same cars that are in the teams in season mode. So the teams always have a random cars every single time. But that does make the game more interesting, especially as a result. Of course, the bracket idea has already been taken by Psyonix before I came up with it. They have seasons and real players becoming teams and ranking up to make it into the Rocket League Championship Series. And they battle each other in a best-of match and make it to the final of the bracket, and they win thousands of dollars. My bracket is the same, except it's much shorter. For each meeting, each match is one game. There is no best of 3, no best of 5, no best of 7. It all boils down to one game. And that's why I call it Rocket League Madness. So, what's the Kingdom Edition? And what does that mean? Well, I have a group of friends who are probably watching this right now, and they created a group message on Facebook, and we called it the Kingdom of Friends. It's been a long time since we've discussed much, especially about this idea, but I gave the group a list of team names from the game, and for them to pick 2 of them. Overall, 10 of us chose team names, and these team names will be facing each other to become the champion of the madness. Now, here's the catch. Brackets only work by powers of 2. So 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, and so on. 20 team names were picked, and unfortunately, 4 teams cannot make into the 16 bracket, but they can be their own bracket and face the winner of the 16 bracket. But then that kind of seems a little unfair since the 4 have a higher chance of winning. So how do I decide? Well, let me show you. Now, if you look at the screen directly below me, you'll see the list of names and team names that were chosen. Now, the first set of names that we have there are the 16 main players that made it into the bracket. And I asked the group to pick just one team at first, and that's basically how it went up until number 9 showed up. And then I decided, okay, I'll let everybody pick 2 names. And by the time that I got to 16, I realized that some people picked 2 teams and 4 people picked only 1. So I felt that it was rather unfair for those 4 people to not have 2 teams like everybody else. So I decided that those 4 players, which are Trinity, Gina, Danny, and Madison, to get into the 4-player bracket. So they do have a higher chance of winning, but this is kind of compensating to them not picking a second team like everybody else did. So let's go through the list for 1 second. So we got Ashley, who is the Death Eaters and the Sharks, Madison, who is the Rovers and Pioneers, Garrett, who is the Kings and Knights, Ivy, who is the Bears and Bandits, Trinity, who is the Express and Battleships, Gina, who is the Pirates and the Mummies, Danny, who is the Skyhawks and Cyclones, Jimmy, who is the Wolves and Bombers, and Elizabeth, who is the Skulls and Scorpions. So that's the list right there of names. So the 16-player bracket will last about 30-31 games. Each match is 5 minutes long, and the finals are twice as long. They're 10 minutes long, just to have more interest in them. And then the 4-player bracket is 6 to 7 games. Now the reason why I give this extra game in there is more specifically because of the way that we do the brackets. So this is a double elimination bracket, and you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and show it to you guys. There it is. You can see this is a double elimination bracket, so the winners will go the one way and the losers will go the other. So this basically means you have 2 chances, and if your team loses the second time, you're done. You're done and you're done. So if you do lose one time, you still have a chance of making it to the finals. So the winners continue on, and then you get the winner of the winning bracket, then you'll get the winner of the loser bracket, and it actually says right in the bottom corner, the winner of the loser's bracket must beat the winner of the winner's bracket twice, because obviously the winner of the winner bracket still hasn't lost one game. So that's something that has to happen if the winner of the loser bracket wants to win the entire bracket. And same thing goes for the 4 bracket. And I have both the 4 bracket and the final bracket in here, and the final bracket is based upon the 16 bracket winner and the 4 bracket winner. And they have to play 2 to 3 games. They have to play 2 to 3 games, and that all depends. We'll see how that goes. Now, if they both lose one time, then they have to play one more time, and then we get the champion of the madness. So we already have our list right here as of who goes where, and you can get a better view of that from here. Now, this probably may look a little crazy. It's also very colorful, mind you. But this is just so I know what is going on, not just as of the bracket, but also as of the place, and who is going to go where. So there's a lot to talk about here, and I'm just going to go as quickly as possible. But we're going to start off our first round with Ashley and the Death Eaters and Jimmy and the Bombers, and then Danny and the Skyhawks and Elizabeth and the Skulls, Ivy and the Bears, me and the Dragons, Trinity and the Express, Garrett and the Knights, Madison and the Rovers, Elizabeth and the Scorpions, Garrett and the Kings and Ashley and the Sharks, Gina and the Pirates, Ivy and the Bandits, and finally, Jimmy and the Wolves versus me and the Rockies. And I finished the first round of the main bracket, so-called winner's bracket, there. And then we'll continue on, and as our progression goes, we'll see more maps, we'll see an implementation of, in the loser's bracket, we have a thing that's known as Rumble mode, and I'll explain that a little bit more in the third episode. In the third episode, right there. I'll explain that to you guys. Oh crap! I'll explain that to you guys then. But Rumble mode basically means that the cars have power-ups to them, and that can totally alter the way that the game is played. So that's how things will go. Then, once we round down to the final of the 16 bracket, I will give everybody a chance to vote what map they want to do. And when the time comes, we'll get to there. And you guys will see all the maps that there are, so not to fret. But the final will be the choice of any map, and then in case we have to go to a second final, the second pick from that choice of any map voting will go there. And then I also added here the choice of a lab map for the second round of the loser bracket in the 4-player bracket. So just something fun, since of course we'll be getting lab maps, which are basically these ones. These are basically lab maps, and you can even include Core 707, although more specifically, Core 707 is one of the newest maps that they came out with, called Drop Shot, and it's an entirely different setup. Drop Shot, Core 707, it's not your regular soccer field. You don't have your two goals opposite of each other. It is more of that the goals are underneath the floor. So they do, of course, split it up, one side versus the other side. But you have to have it where the ball hits the floor and activates it, then hits it again to break it. And then, of course, you have to get the ball through the floor. And the harder the ball goes, the harder the activation or the breaking happens. And crazy things can happen out of those types of games, and they're pretty fun, so you'll see that. Also, I did notice as of a couple of days back, they did make a change to these two maps here. Now, at first I actually had it where they both said Neo Tokyo, and then they came out with a change to the one map, where basically, so the Neo Tokyo now is kind of like your regular look of a soccer field. Has a more regular tone to it. Versus Tokyo Underpass, the sides are lifted up. And the Underpass thing used to be a lab map, and then Neo Tokyo was based off that. Then they just threw it together. So Tokyo Underpass is a little different from Neo Tokyo, still the same look, just a different layout. So now, and then of course we'll have our finals, or our finals, and then our finals, with our 16-4 brackets. And we're gonna start it off with Core 707, the Drop Shot map, and then we'll basically end it with DFH Stadium, which is a really cool looking stadium to have a championship at. Alright, that's it. I'm getting tired of adding all of this text. So basically, I don't know what I'm doing for episodes 9 to 12. I have an idea as of how I'm going to go about it, but there's always updates. There's all these crazy things going on, but here's something that's going on right now. Rocket League is coming out with an anniversary update that includes a very new map called Champions Field. I might end up using this map for the final, but we'll have to wait until July 5th when it comes out. Also, another cool update that they'll be doing is that they'll be including Monstercat music, and you'll be hearing a lot of the Monstercat music during this tournament. And Rocket League is finally implementing Monstercat in their Rocket League radio, so you might end up hearing that, but we'll see how that goes. But as of this entire ending position, all of it is to be determined. So we'll get there when we get there. So that's all that right there. And I might as well show you this part. So this is everybody that is going to be in the game. You'll see this in the first episode, and we'll be utilizing this, but you already have everybody's names up there. Ashley, Madison, Garrett, Ivy, Trinity, Gina, Danny, Daniel, Jimmy, Elizabeth, and Greg, me. And then, of course, we also have everybody's teams and their logos. I created basically all of this. I edited as much as I could out of these logos, so I took a lot of time out of this. But that's everybody's logos. So you got Death Eaters and Sharks, Rovers and Pioneers, Kings and Knights, Bears and Bandits, Battleships and Express, and then Pirates and Mummies, Skyhawks and Cyclones, Bombers and Wolves, Skulls and Scorpions, Rockies and Dragons. So, fun thing I just wanted to throw in there, and I'm basically out of time. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like if you, for whatever reason, enjoyed this video, but definitely click the subscribe button. Definitely click the subscribe button so you guys get notifications to when these videos get uploaded. And they will be coming out soon, don't worry, but click the subscribe button so you guys get the notifications. Make sure the notification thing is checked, or the bell thing. Make sure that that's checked. Also, if you guys do have any questions, let me know in the comment section if you guys have any questions about anything. And also, I'm gonna just throw out there, because I know this is probably gonna be asked, are we playing the actual cars? The answer, no. That is the computer's job. The computer here is going to be playing AI versus AI. It's going to do all the work for you guys, so you guys don't have to do anything except watch the videos. And the only other thing you guys will have to do when the time comes is to be voting on those maps. So that'll happen. So other than that, thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment if you guys have any questions, or just comment to say that you lasted through these 20 or so minutes. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next video. Peace!